Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So for this video, I wanted to show you guys a harness that I'm going to be selling on the site. Not everybody wants to make their own harnesses. I do have a video showing how to make harnesses like this, but I also wanted to offer it to you guys in the event that you want one made for you, ready to go. Should make your life a lot easier, especially if you're just doing this like one build for your own personal use or something like that. I can see where this would be a little bit intimidating, doing just one of these one time. So this will be offered on the site for anyone looking for an easy solution, but I'll go ahead and go over it. So included with this is a BlueGhozt Lite controller, version 2. It also includes a 3D printed expansion box with the power saver in the bottom, and it does obviously include the remote for that. The function of that being that it will prevent the LEDs in your build from draining a ton of power and killing your battery. It also helps to protect the LEDs because that low voltage in the battery is what generally leads the LEDs to flickering out and going crazy. So power saver, as well as the Ghost controller itself, same way that I do all my builds. And this is potted. You can see some of the wiring here, but it's still waterproof. You'll be fine there. And each one will be varied a little bit. We try to not have any little wires like that, but some little air pockets are almost impossible to avoid sometimes. Beyond that will be a cable gland that comes out of the controller itself with all the wires. So it's really simple. This is your main controller. You can tuck this away somewhere in the car. There are holes to mount it somewhere on the car if need be. You've also got the wiring coming out of that. One of those is your power and ground with a built-in fuse. All of it with braided sleeving to protect all the wires and make everything look clean. And they do have ring terminals on the power and the ground. Obviously, the red is your power and the black is your ground. And I will label all this, like the power and ground. I will label that before I ship this out. That way, just to make sure. Then you have two lengths. So this is your shorter length here. This one goes to your nearest headlight to the battery. It really doesn't matter. At a lot of cars, it's on the driver's side. But let's say it's on the passenger side, or maybe it's like a charger or something where you just have a little distribution block that you can tap into. That's fine. Whatever light is closest to the harness will be the one that has the shorter side. We use waterproof plugs for a quick connect here. On the other side of that is another cable gland that can be installed into the light, and then a JST connection, so you can connect things on the inside of the light if you're doing something really simple. 12 volt, assuming, then this will be fine. In the event that you are running 5 volt inside of your light, you will need to use an inverter on the inside because this is a 12 volt power and ground. But it's just as simple as either cutting off the JST and getting your power, ground, and data, or you can connect the JST to that and then splice that out into your inverter. I generally put my inverters inside of the lights, and I put one in each light, and that is the way this harness is designed. Unfortunately, without getting this box significantly bigger, I can't run 5 volt inverters inside of it. So that's not really an option, and honestly, it's not the way that I would do it anyways. Even if I did make a box that was bigger that could hold it, I wouldn't do that. I like the inverters inside the box. 12 volt travels better on wiring than 5 volt. So we're using 18 gauge wiring on all of this, and that is plenty for pretty much most builds. If you're doing something really extreme with a ton of stuff in it, let me know, and we can go over some different options of wiring upgrades if need be. but in every case that I've used, this works. As for the actual connectors here, even though on the other end of this I've only got 5 wires, I'm using an 8-wire plug. And the reason being, for power and ground, I actually double up on these connections from the quick connects here, and that makes it a thicker wire, a higher gauge going through these plugs. So that way we're able to use these plugs that are excellent. I love these plugs, but the wiring is very thin on it. It's like a 22 gauge, but if you double that up, it's more than enough to carry the load that you're typically going to see in a headlight. So on the other end, you have the JST, which is 12 volt power and ground, and your data. Quick connects if need be, if your build is that simple. And then you have your white, which is your DRL, and then your turn signal, which is the yellow wire. And all of that will be tucked away inside of the light, past the cable gland. Cable gland being the part that sticks outside of the light. Simple to remove the nut, pull that off, drill the hole through your light, slide this through, put the nut back on, and tighten it up on the other side. So makes install really simple. Basically eliminates the need for you to have to do anything controller wise or harness wise. The only factor, once again, very important, if you're running anything 5 volt inside of the light, like our halos, SK LEDs in general, you will want to ensure that you have a 5 volt inverter that you're running inside the light to split that off. Split the 12 volt down into a 5 volt. On the long side, this is about a 6 foot. I try to keep it about 6 feet of wiring so that you can run it from one side of the car to the other. Generally, I do recommend, in case you haven't installed any lights before, I do recommend running this in front of the, like right behind the grill. You don't want to attach this in anything hot. Don't tape it to the radiator or anything like that. So generally, it's when you have the bumper off for most headlights, it's just easier to go ahead and run this in front of the radiator behind the grill, so in front of the main frame of the car. Just kind of find places to zip tie it in there, and it runs pretty good, and with the black sleeving, it does tuck away pretty nicely. Moving over to here, we do have another quick connect waterproof connector here, and another cable gland with a JST and another turn signal. So for this setup, we are using one turn signal on the far side light and one turn signal and one DRL on the near side light. So for most headlights, that's all you need. If you are working with a taillight, contact me directly. I'll kind of go over, what you're doing, what the options would be. Taillights are a little bit different, and it can vary by the car. So this isn't really intended for taillights, but if you do want something for taillights, let me know. I can probably do something for you. But primarily, this is just for headlights. In addition to that, within the controller, I did utilize the party mode via the remote. So you push button A, it will activate the party mode. If you push button B, it will activate the relay manually. The relay is also connected to the turn signals, both sides, and the DRL. And so that way, for normal functions, this will turn on, activate your power to the LEDs, make sure everything's running right. When you park the car, 15 seconds later, it will turn off. I do have a video going over in more detail on how the power saver actually works, but that is how it is wired up within here. In addition to that, I do also have the button is wired into the the reverse signal. The reverse signal on here. So you can actually set, when you do party mode, you can set the demonize to the reverse signal, the reverse input on the sections tab, and that will allow you to set the color of Demon Eyes to be separate from the actual show modes. Obviously you can program the party modes yourself in the app, and that will be activated when you push that A button. So I got more videos going into more details on that. I don't want to wind this one too much with too much information. But if you've seen a lot of my other videos, and this controller should make a lot more sense. But it definitely will simplify things for somebody that's churning out those builds real fast and they don't want to have to slow down for controllers. Totally get it. And probably more so the people that are looking at trying to build their own lights. They're already overwhelmed with everything that's going on inside of the lights, and the idea of having to deal with the controller as well is a bit daunting. I get it. It's a lot. And that's the reason I'll be offering these on the website. So I will do a demo real quick. I'm going to use my 12 volt UCS 80mm halos. So we'll do a little demo on the turn signal here. Sorry, DRL. So I put the DRL, you can see it starts right up. Now I just have normal modes on these. I haven't preset any fancy show modes or fancy startups or animations or anything like that. So pretty much usually just go with the basics. There's your turn signal. Turn signal on the other side. There are party modes there. So you see the platform is pretty basic. Obviously I can, well, hold on, it's got to click out. There we go. The turn signal activated the relay, and that turned the halos on, and then it turned back off. I use the remote and turn it right back on, just like that. Turn it right back off. So all of that function like normal. A lot of videos covering this, so I don't want to, once again, I don't want to get too far into the weeds on that. But this is how I build my controller. If you want a controller the way that I build them, this is what you want. I do have a video, actually a couple videos going over how I do them. If you want to do it yourself, absolutely, by all means, watch those videos, build them. But if you're looking for a simple solution, plug and play, you order it, you get it in, you plug it up, and you're good to go. This will do it for you. Thanks for watching. Tune in for the next video, and make sure to subscribe and like. Thanks again.